Good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. My name is Alexis, and I want to give you a warm welcome to our webinar today, to the ICC webinar about why you should become a coach through the ICC with Guillermo Mendoza. We're very happy to have you here. You're going to be receiving some very useful information on how and why to become a coach, which is such a great tendency, is such a great tool today to improve and to have a great impact in your world. I would like to begin by asking you about the sound. I want to make a sound check. If you could all please raise your hands and let me know if you can hear me and if you can see the screen. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I see a couple of hands are raised. Very good. Okay, now if you have any questions during the presentation, I would encourage you to please write your questions in the questions panel, and we will be going over the questions at the end, or just so you can have the questions there, because we will be giving you an open microphone so you can talk and ask your questions personally. But just so you don't forget your questions, you can also always write them there and keep them for the end. So without further ado, I want to welcome Guillermo Mendoza. He's our ICC trainer in the United States. Guillermo, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Alexis. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the webinar for the international coaching community. And we are very happy to have you here. The purpose of this webinar today is to give you a very good overview of what is the ICC, what is becoming a coach, what is coaching, how do you become a coach with our community, etc. So the idea is to give you an in-depth knowledge of some of the common aspects of questions and things that we are looking for when we are searching, we are looking for the best training program to become coaches. So I am the trainer for the US. I'm based in Houston, Texas, one of the 3 trainers that we have in the USA. And our agenda today is go over these items. We are going to just give a brief introduction of what is coaching for those that are not familiar with the term, why the ICC as one of the ways to become a certified coach, and then we're going to talk a little bit about who is the type of people that enroll in this training program, and what are the benefits that you get from becoming a coach or from getting this training, and also what are the prerequisites, or what are the things that you need to have to enroll and also to complete to be certified as a coach. And we are going to give you also an overview of what is the content of the program, how it's delivered, some examples of classes and formats. And we have a small collection of common Q&As that we get from people asking for information about our certification training, and we will cover those as well at the end. So to start with, I want to mention that coaching is, for those that are not familiar with it, it's a powerful methodology based on questions to help a person improve in whatever they want to improve. And we always start by mentioning one of the definitions of coaching, because one of the big problems in the coaching profession today is that this word is not used properly in the market. Coaching has become a marketing word, and now you can find in the market social media coaches, health coaches, finance coaches, all sort of coaches. And what it's a little unfortunate for those in the profession, in the coaching profession, is that some of those professionals offering those specialties of coaching, sometimes they are not coaching, sometimes they are advising, mentoring, being very good consultants. But coaching is not about advising, mentoring, or giving consulting. Coaching is a methodology based mainly on questions that starts from the principle of Socrates many years ago, when he said that we all have our own answers, we just haven't asked the right question. And a coach is a professional that has learned some tools and techniques to ask the right questions and help people to find their own answers. So let's just start from that basis of what is exactly coaching. And there are many methodologies in the market about how to do this professionally, and most of them could be summarized in a 3-step process. You need a very good definition of a goal, you need to define a good plan, and then you need to learn how to execute and do the execution so you get your results. So goal plan execution is a good summary of most coaching methodologies. The company that I represent in the USA, Impact Coaching Solutions, we have translated these to 3 taglines or phrases that we like to use. Goal is about creating consciousness. because many of the things that we want to achieve in life, either at a personal level or in our organizations, in our careers, are based on defining a very good goal. And as you know, many methodologies like the SMART goals and principles of goal are many ways to define goals. But coaching goes a little further. It's not about only clarifying the goal. It's also about looking about the values, looking for the values that are behind that goal. Because the values are the energy for the goal. The values are what is giving people commitment and conviction to make things happen. So in coaching, we start by helping people to be very aware of what they really want and why they want it and what is bringing to their lives. And in that way, we have a solid foundation to work with a client, starting by the goals. Then we move to the second stage of coaching, what we call it plan, and in Impact Coaching Solutions, we call it develop leadership. And we call it that way because we start with the definition of leadership not as a way of leading people or leading others, but the very basic definition of leadership is your own ability to lead yourself, to take yourself from point A to point B. And that's what we do in coaching. We are helping people to lead themselves and go from a present state to a desired state. So that's why we call plan develop leadership. And of course, there are many things around these, many techniques, including brainstorming, including some good formats and principles to create good plans that consider the ecology of the environment, that consider an alternate plan or a contingency plan, that consider who is impacted by the plan, and many other things around this. And then the third stage, when you have a good plan, you can move to execution. And sounds like an easy step, because once you know what you want to do, and once you have a good plan to do it, it's just a matter of doing it. But in coaching, we have found that when working with clients, there are many things that could be in the way. We call them interferences. It could be bad habits. It could be limited beliefs. It could be limited perspectives. So a coach works with clients to take them from plan to execution, and that means getting results. And those results start by changing habits, perspectives, beliefs, and being more aware of our resources and how we are going to use them to finally stretch our comfort zone, do things, and get the results that we want. So there are two main things that in coaching always need to happen. You need to have a goal, and you need to have results. Otherwise, it's not good coaching. Now that we have a good overview of what is coaching, let's move to some details on the international coaching community. Why the ICC? The international coaching community is one of the largest coach certifying organizations in the world, with more than 11,000 certified coaches in 60 countries. It's a very large community, one of the largest in the world. And it was founded in 2001, 15 years ago, by Joseph O'Connor and Andrea Laguesse. And what they did is create a very good training that combines several coaching methodologies. And then they decided that the way to grow the community was by training trainers to offer this very good training all over the world. And that's what they did. Every 2 years, the community has been growing in trainers, because every 2 years we have what we call a train the trainers, where master coaches attend, they become trainers for the ICC, and they start promoting and selling and delivering this training all over the world. Today we have 45 trainers. I am one of those trainers. Each of us have our own business in different parts of the world, and we offer different services in our businesses. But what we have in common is that 45 of us, we have the same coaching methodology, and we train professional coaches in exactly the same way. The ICC has materials available in more than 20 languages, so we really offer these in a worldwide and international way. And also, it's an award-winning training. We are going to talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes. So the ICC is based on a vision that is sustained by four main pillars. It's about individual development, it's person-focused, it's a common language, and it's about social perspective. So let's talk a little bit about each of these. Individual development is because ICC coaching is about people. We like to work with people, both the coaches that we train and then their clients, to stretch that comfort zone and to really help people achieve the things that they want from life and from their careers by really changing the way they perform, changing the way they think, the way they speak. So giving people new and powerful tools is part of these pillars on individual development, and really helping people first to lead themselves and be agent of change in the world, being somebody that not only leads himself or herself, but also help people to develop beyond who they currently are. We like to think about coaching also as a way to get a better version of ourselves. So we are in a constant improving mood. It's also about focusing on the person. That's another pillar of our vision. We license trainers and not trainings because we believe that people are what makes coaching work. So we have 45 trainers, as I mentioned. Every 2 years we update our trainer list with new members, and this is the way we are expanding the community and expanding this trainer all over the world. And the other part of the community is that we work with a set of coaching competencies, and of course our document on standards and ethics in the profession. And this way the ICC supports and develops a coaching profession as well as coaching as an activity. So this pillar has a concept that is very important to understand about the ICC. The ICC is both an association or very large community of coaches in the world, but it's also a school. It's a training center for professional coaches. So you have many associations in the world that are coaches association, and most of them are just association for professionals, or they license schools as authorized trainers, and you have a large variety of schools affiliated to specific associations. In our case, we are a community of coaches, and we are also a school. And all the people that is part of this community is because they went through our basic program. We share the common language, and we share the tools and training and techniques. That's the way to belong to the international coaching community. It's not an association where you send your membership in a format and you belong to the association. In this case, you need to go through our basic training to be a part of the community. The third pillar is about common language. I mentioned this already a couple of times. When you go to an ICC training anywhere in the world, you will be learning and doing the same training. Our coaches have a shared language of coaching. And this is actually one of the benefits of this training. Some people is very attracted to this training because maybe I'm taking the training in the USA, but I'm planning to move to Italy to live with my brother, and I want to be a coach in Italy, or I want to or I travel a lot and I want to be a worldwide coach, which is working in Brazil and also in the United States. So for some of our participants, it's very attractive the fact that this is really an international certification. We, in the community, of course, we embrace diversity, we embrace inclusion, we work with a lot of people all over the world, and we take advantage of those alliances. Not long ago, I was recommending for some colleagues here in the US and for some coaching for executives. One of my colleagues in the ICC, an ICC trainer in Tokyo, because they needed a coaching delivering in Japanese. So that's just a brief example of what we do by being worldwide and international. And then we have the fourth pillar is social perspective. The ICC sees coaching as really a powerful force for a better world. And we are initiating social projects in education and in our communities all over the world. Each of the 45 trainers have different initiatives to work with people and make a better world. In the case of the United States and Impact Coaching Solutions, the program that we have is working with PEP. It's a prison entrepreneurship program. This is a beautiful program where servant leaders are on a mission to transform inmates and also the executives volunteers, unlocking human potential, giving them entrepreneurial tools and techniques, and teaching them how to create business plans for companies and through education, and also do some mentoring and of course some coaching. So we offer this to our participants actually in the US training, because Impact Coaching Solutions was co-founded by me and my wife Maria Bruderlin, who is another trainer for the ICC. We're both trainers for the international coaching community. And we are both executive volunteers in this social program that is a really beautiful program. It's transforming the prison system in the United States, reducing recidivism very, very strong, and basically one of the best reentry programs in the world for people that is being released from prison. So we love the program, and we invite actually our students to participate in a social service format in this program when they do the training in Houston, because the program is based here in Houston. And the reason we do that is because when you go to a prison, one of the things that you realize, which is very important for a coach, is all of the prejudice, all of the internal dialogue that you have when you are seeing people that they are, well, dressed different than you, and might have a physical aspect different than yours. And that's very important to realize how we have this chatter in our mind that doesn't help for coaching. And also we invite our participants because it's a good way to put coaching in practice and help people to really, really committed to rebuilding their lives and creating new lives after they leave prison. So that's just an example of what we mean by social perspective in the international coaching community. In summary, with these 4 pillars, what we like to think is that what we are doing in the international coaching community is building a better world one coach at a time. We are creating coaches to help people, and that's our contribution to create a better world. So let's talk a little bit about the program. The program advantages, well, the first one is that the ICC program is a blend of the best coaching methodologies. Andrea and Joseph did a very good job combining different coaching methodologies, different coaching techniques. So we have some things like the Inner Game by Timothy Galway. We have some ideas on transformational coaching by Thomas Leonard. We have some things from NLP or neuro-linguistic programming from Richard Bandler and John Grinder. We use some tools also from ontological coaching from Fernando Flores. We use integral models of coaching from Ken Wilber, and we also some ideas on behavioral coaching. So this is a very, very good mix, not only in theory, but also in the tools that you can use as a professional coach. And the other advantage of the program is that in-person training is the best for learning coaching techniques and tools, and that's what we do. All our programs are in person. A lot of coaching schools offer programs online or through webinars, and we do it in person because that's the best way to learn some of the techniques. We are going to elaborate on that in a couple of minutes. And I also mentioned at the beginning that another advantage of the program is that it's an award-winning program. One of the largest communities of coaches in the world is the EMCC, the European Mentoring and Coaching Council. And this organization awarded the European Quality Award in 2010 to this program because of its quality and content and the impact that it was having on new professional coaches. So that's another thing to consider. This is a proven program, very, very successful in the market. Now, moving to who enrolls in this training program. After several years delivering this program in the United States and helping colleagues to deliver it in Mexico and in other countries, this is my summary of the key audiences that we have in this coaching certification training program. We have professionals. It could be marketing managers, finance managers, human resources managers, sales managers, all type of people from corporations, organizations that realize that getting coaching skills, they could be better managers and leaders. Leading and managing with coaching, it's a new trend in the market because we are moving from an era where we were given direction to people and instructions to an era where we are really developing people by asking questions. So that's one of the key audiences. The other one is entrepreneurs, so people that are looking for either to start or enrich their private business, either creating a new business as professional coaches, or because they already have a business on professional service. Maybe they are counselors, or they are consultants, or even therapists. And we find these people coming to our training because they want to add coaching skills to their services and their repertoire. So those entrepreneurs are also part of our participants. And also business owners that want the coaching skills to be better owners, better managers. Another audience would be the HR professionals, people that are looking to become coaches for a professional advancement or because they need to be internal coaches in their organizations, or because they are working on programs to create a staff of internal coaching. That's a common trend also in organizations today, not only hiring coaches from outside, but creating their own internal coaches to help executives, managers, and people to develop in the organization. So that's another group of people. And the last is general public, because we also get a lot of people looking for this training just for a personal transformation, just because they want personal growth, personal development, personal transformation, even spiritual growth, and they come to the training to get coaching tools that are very effective for all these things. Because becoming a coach helps you everywhere, basically. It helps you in your career, in your job, with your family, with friends. It's a set of tools that you can apply everywhere. And some people realize that and use it just for life, not because they want to create a new business as coaches. So this is a good summary of who enrolls in this program. Now, what do you get from becoming a coach with the international coaching community? Well, the first thing that I like to tell people when they are asking about our program is that the first thing that they get is a surprise. Because sometimes people enroll in our program and they think, well, I'm going to get some coaching skills, some coaching tools, and then I'm going to use them with people. But to do that, the first surprise is that first you need to transform yourself. And what you will get in our training is really, as we go through the concepts and the theory and the exercise where you apply your personal areas of improvement or your personal life to the different exercises that we do in class, you realize that this is first a personal transformation where you start changing your attitudes and you start changing your way of thinking, even the way you are speaking. We talk about language and language patterns and how we speak, and you learn to be more positive, more optimistic, and changing thinking, speaking, and even acting, doing things out of your comfort zone, trying new things, trying new behaviors. And this is a big surprise for many of our participants, a very nice surprise, because we like to take a video at the end of the training and get some comment from our participants, and many of them have told us that that was an excellent surprise, that they came for some tools and techniques and they really leave the training with a personal transformation and new ways of looking at life and creating results in their lives. So that's something that makes us really, really feel very good. The other thing that you get is, of course, the knowledge of coaching, tools of coaching. We review many, many tools and techniques that you can apply, and all our trainings are based on practice. You need to do a lot of practice, and that is the way to really learn what you are doing, is getting the theory, looking at how it's done, practicing in class, and then practicing out of class. We also create communities where we really get lifelong friendships, and a community of like-minded people that is looking for improvement and is looking for the best in humans. And our community has also a very nice feature of continuous education, because we have webinars, we have articles, we have videos, we have another levels of more specific certifications in coaching, like team coaching, executive coaching, and we also have an annual congress where we get together in different parts of the world for a couple of days, get more new trends in coaching and new information. And we are always adding things. In the particular case in Impact Coaching Solutions, we really like the topics of emotional intelligence. We're certified in an assessment in that tool, and we also like a lot of the new research and the new things that are coming out from neuroscience. So neuroscience and emotional intelligence are a couple of things that we are using a lot in our training, and that the community is also embracing in a very big way. So what are the requisites to enroll? Sometimes I am asked, well, do I need to be a psychologist? Do I need to be a professional in human resources? Or what are the requirements to enroll and get certified as a coach? And I always tell people the main requisite is to have a passion for helping people to improve, and to have a commitment to create this stage, these 3 stages, or this process that we do with coaching, which is create consciousness on goals, develop leadership for good plans, and then get results, executing and really getting transformations. So that's a requisite. If you are a person that are passionate about this, then you are ready to enroll. And we have seen many times in our participants people that are already what we call natural born coaches, people that like to help people, people that is commonly approached by other people to get advice or help or a good question. And what this training does is basically taking these natural born coaches and give them the right way of doing it, the proper techniques, so they can enjoy helping people in the best way. What is the content of the program? Well, we have a very rich program, as I said, where we cover topics as goals, which is the main aspect of coaching. When I got certified, I remember my trainer telling me, no goal, no coaching. Everything starts from a goal. Everything starts from having an idea of what do you want to achieve in any aspect of your life. But then we also cover a very important topic, which is values. And Values are, as I said, the energy behind the goals. The reason so many people start doing things and they never finish, or they procrastinate, or they don't reach their destination, is because sometimes they haven't spent the right amount of time and the right depth on finding what is the value behind this goal, what I am getting at the end, what is my final reward for going after this. And that's what we do in coaching. So as a professional coach, or as a person that is getting coaching skills to help others, it's very important to realize that you need some techniques to clarify goals with people, and also some techniques to dig into those personal values and find out what is that energy that is giving the commitment and conviction to go after the goal. And then we talk also about limiting and empowering beliefs. When we mentioned at the beginning that moving from plan to execution, we find something that we call in coaching interferences. And those interferences could be bad habits, it could be limiting beliefs, or it could be limiting perspectives. So one of the key aspects of coaching is, for a person that is trained professional in coaching, is to help people find out what are those limiting beliefs that are preventing you from moving forward. What is that idea that you are telling yourself and you are holding as a firm belief that is not letting you go forward? And beliefs, as we will see in the training, are sometimes just a set of ideas that we decide to adopt from a very early childhood, usually from people that we respect, parents and teachers or spiritual guides, and we made them our own ideas. We made them our own mental map of the way we think and the way we see life. The problem with those beliefs is that some of them are empowering, some of them are going to push our self-regard and our confidence and basically make us go places. And some other beliefs are limiting, what we call in coaching limiting, and that means that instead of propelling us to our goals, they are going to be a roadblock. They are going to be something that is not letting us go forward, like when we think that we are not good for something because somebody told us that when we were a child or a teenager, or because we think that we don't have resources, or we cannot get things, or we are too old, or we are not ready for something. And in coaching, we help our clients to realize that basically we are, as human beings, we are limitless. The percentage of usage that we do of our brain is really minimum compared with the capacity that our brain has. And basically anything in life is achievable if you just have three things. It's the knowledge, the experience, and the resources. So we work with clients so they realize, okay, if I need knowledge in my plan, where I am going to get it. If I need experience, how I am going to practice. And if I need resources, what are those resources? Do I need time? Do I need money? Do I need relationships? And how do I going to get that so I can get rid of this roadblock and move towards my goal? So this is a very important aspect of the content of the program, working on identifying and changing limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs. Then we have the topic of perspectives. Sometimes in life we have limited perspectives, and that's another roadblock to get our results, because we think that our point of view is the right one and the only one. The topic of perspectives is a set of techniques and tools that will help us work with clients so they expand those perspectives and they see that it's not only their point of view. They learn how really embrace empathy for other people and understanding how does it feel to be in other shoes, maybe in the other part that is taking part of a conflict with us or something like that, or understanding different positions. It could be used for life coaching, but it could be used also for executive coaching, because in executive coaching we have the values of the organization, we have the vision, we have the plans that are stated by the CEO, and we want to see different perspectives, not only ours, when we are executing things. So it's important to realize this as another tool and important content of the program. How do we learn to expand those perspectives so they, again, help us to reach destination instead of being a roadblock in the way? And finally, in our program, we have a brief introduction to marketing for those of you that are looking into coaching certification program to start your own business or to add coaching as part of your services in your company. And We talk a little bit about what do you need to do to promote yourself as a professional coach, what are the basics of creating a good marketing plan, and how you can start to market your services. So all the content of the program, of course, this is a very an overview, but each of these areas of content has a very, very rich set of content in terms of theory and tools and materials that we cover. But the purpose of all this content at the end of the program is that you are able to be very skilled on what we call the 8 basic competencies in the international coaching community. We have identified 8 basic competencies that are important for professional coaching, and this is aligned with most of the serious and large organizations in the world. The set of competencies for very large coaching organizations in the world is very similar. What you need to be an expert on is on establishing rapport and trust, because coaching is based on a relationship with your client. It's based on having a good environment for total confidence and trust, where you can freely exchange ideas, and of course this within an environment of ethics of coaching, which means also a very, very high degree of confidentiality. We cannot disclose anything from our clients if they don't authorize us to do that. I cannot even release, or I cannot even claim that I'm coaching somebody if he or she is not authorizing me to do that. So rapport and trust are a very important element to start any coaching session, any coaching relationship, and we use them along the way to create the right environment to work with clients. Then the second basic competence is powerful questions. It's about the main technique in coaching, learning how to do the best questions, and we have a very, very deep content on these in categories of questions, on understanding how we can have questions that are neutral, or can have questions that have negative assumptions which are not good for coaching, or questions that have a positive assumption that are very good for coaching. And we learn about creative questions and meta questions and different techniques to be very good at asking the right thing to the person. And you can maybe get an idea of what is a powerful question in your conversations day to day. When you ask somebody something and they easily answer something, that's a normal question. What we call in coaching powerful questions is when you ask somebody something and they say, wow, let me think about it. I never thought about that. I never see that way. That question, that what I used to say is, punches the client in the face in a way that they need to really reflect. They need to really lean back for a moment and think, okay, what is this about? What is my perspective on this? What is my opinion on this? What is my answer on this? That's what we call powerful questions. And as a professional coach, you need to learn how to create those questions, which, by the way, they are not created from a catalog of powerful questions. They are created by your ability as a coach that you will acquire in the training of being better at listening, intuition, and being present for your client, which is actually the next basic competency. We teach our participants on what is intuition, how to increase it, different levels of listening, what is the right level of listening for coaching, and how to really be present, because most of the results that we get from clients in coaching are from the presence and acceptance that we have in the coaching session, what it's called today mindfulness. Neuroscience defines mindfulness as presence and acceptance, and we cover those concepts as well. Then another technique, of course, is goals clarification, because what we said, that's the starting point. So we need to learn how to help a client to clarify goals and create very well-defined goals. Then we have the competence of giving and receiving feedback, because we need to have in this relationship coach-client a good flow of communication where we are giving our clients feedback about what they are saying, what they are thinking, how they are performing. Another beautiful definition of coaching is that professional coaches are like a mirror. We are a mirror for our client. We are helping the client reflect, see himself and see herself and see themselves in a way that they haven't seen themselves before, or finding things that they haven't found before. That's the competency of giving and receiving feedback. And of course, as coaches, we are always receiving as well feedback from our clients, because we need to learn. It's not only about the answers of the client. We need to learn facial expressions, body language, the energy of the client, which is related to the topic of intuition as well. So this competency of giving and receiving feedback is as well very important, and we cover it in a very good detail in the training. The next one, I think that the sixth one is actually present in everything that a coach does, and in all the techniques and in all the other competencies, because it's all about creating consciousness. It's all about being more aware of what I want, what are my resources, how do I do it, what is the thinking in my mind, but also what is the thinking in another person that is being affected by my goal. So creating consciousness is really one of the most important aspects, and it's all over the place in terms of being present in tools and concepts that we cover in coaching. Then we have this aspect of effective homework tasks, because in coaching, one of the things that happens in a coaching session is that coaches always help the clients to define an action, a homework, something that they will do with the new discovery or the new reflections or insights that they got. And they need to work on that until they meet again with their coach in the next session. So homework is a very important part of coaching or actions. And you will learn techniques on how to help clients to define those homeworks, and most important, how to review that in the next session, because it's not just about doing or not doing the homework. It's about the learning that comes from trying things, the learning that comes from not even trying things, the learning that comes from a homework that was a failure, or the learning that comes from a homework that was a success. It's all about learning, and we help our clients to learn better from their own experiences, and that comes from getting into action, to do things out of the comfort zone, to work with the homework, and homework is rarely something about thinking. It's always about, okay, thinking, but also writing or doing something or contact somebody or have a conversation or try a new behavior. It's always about action. So that's another important part of the basic competencies. And the last one we mentioned already in the content is about eliminating this roadblock of limiting beliefs. It's about the skill that as a coach you will get to identify limiting beliefs in your clients and helping them remove them and exchange them by an empowering belief that is going to help better their purpose, better the idea of reaching a destination with their goal. So these are the 8 basic competencies. This is what you will be having a test at the end of your certification to see if you understood the 8 competencies and what they involve and what are the tools that you use for each of them. And that's also what is reviewed at the end when you have an assessment on how you are doing a coaching session, to see if you have really mastered these skills. Because that's once you get this working as part of your life and you are skillful with these 8 competencies, then you are ready for professional coaching. So what do you need to be certified as a coach if you enroll in our program? Well, of course, is the attendance to the program. That's very important, because our programs are, as we will mention in a minute, in person, and that creates a dynamic that is very important. But also there are some other requisites that are needed, or requirements that are needed to complete your certification with us. One is we organize study groups. You need to meet with people outside of class and study some of the topics, discuss some readings from articles or books, and also how you are doing with your practices, etc. Then we have books reading, and in the case of Impact Coaching Solutions in the United States, we have identified 4 very good books related to what you are learning in this program. And one of the requirements in our specific program in the USA is to read 4 books and create a report of those books. And they are really very important to enrich your learning and coaching skills. Then we also have practices where you will be using your new coaching skills and practicing how to do it. I always mention in our training that this is like learning to drive. At the beginning, you need to take care of a lot of things, the wheel and the mirrors and the pedals and the brakes, accelerator, etc., and looking around you. And it's a lot of things. And we all have experience when we learn to drive that it's a very overwhelming experience, and we are so worried about so many things, and a few of them are going right and some of them are not going that right, until we basically make them part of our system and we do it in a natural way, and we can become very good drivers that are paying attention to all those things in a way that is very easy. Well, the same is with coaching. You are going to learn how to deal with a client, how to create the environment, how to use your tools, how to structure a session, different stages of your session, different stages of your process. And at the beginning, you have a lot of things to take care of, including your presence, your listening, your intuition, your internal dialogue, etc. So you need practice. And that's one of the nicest things of our program. We require from our students a lot of practice, and that's what have made our graduates very good coaches, because you get comfortable with the different techniques and tools. You reach a point where you are doing it more naturally, and in that way you become a good coach. And some of the practices are with an internal participant, what we call internal client, another person taking the training with you. And that means that you also will be the client of another participant. So we have what we call the internal coach-client practices. That means that you have some opportunities to work on your coaching skills, but you also will have some opportunities to work as a client on things that you want to improve in your life or in your career, and you will be helped by a coach to do that. And even when it's a student, you will be amazed on the things that you will discover about yourself, or the things that you want to improve in your life, or even problems that you want to solve, and how that helps you to really, really create new results in your life. So practices are very, very useful and have great benefits for our participants. You also will need to have some what we call external practices. That means that you will find somebody outside of the class, that it could be a colleague, a friend, somebody that you know, and you will be practicing your coaching skills with that person as well. And then at the end of the training, we have a couple of assessments or tests that we use to measure how well are you doing in those 8 basic competencies. So you have a written test, and you have what we call a practical assessment. And a practical assessment is basically a short coaching session where we are going to see you in action and see how you do. And part of that is the assessment to make sure that you got to that point. When we said that one of the main advantages of the program is that the training is delivered in person, this is a very important aspect. And the reason for that is because some of the most powerful coaching techniques involve working not only with a conversation, not only with a dialogue. They involve ideas, emotions, even body movement at the same time, what it's called the kinesthetic techniques. I might have a client to stand up, close their eyes, think about something, visualize something, then take 2 steps forward, turn around, think about other thing. And it's to me, it's like a magical thing, but when you work with ideas, emotions, and body movement connected at the same time, it creates a very impactful result for clients. They really get insights, they really get new thinking, they really get new ideas flowing, or even new emotions that they need to analyze and acknowledge. So all those things are very powerful, and it's very hard to learn all that or to teach all that with an online program or with a webinar. That's why our programs are in person. And we had been working with some initiatives that we might launch in the future to have a portion of the program delivered via online webinars or virtual training, but that will be used only for some theoretical parts of the training, because we need still events in classroom, in a traditional classroom, for the reason that most of our program is very experiential. We give you some theory, then we have a demonstration of a technique that you can use in coaching at the front of the class, and then you practice that technique right there in the class, so we can have a debrief, and we can review what was your experience and what are the doubts on applying the technique, etc. So this is a very important aspect of the international coaching community trainings. And of course, another advantage in a traditional classroom, we learn from each other, because we have a very, very nice audiences in our trainings. As I mentioned, we have professionals, we have counselors, we have had pastors from churches, we have had PhDs on leadership, even we have had, and I'm very, very proud to mention this, but we have had in our program several times certified coaches from other schools or other coaching methodologies, and they get very, very happy with the training and new coaching techniques that they get. But also the dialogue in the classroom and what we learn from each other is very, very rich. And it's harder to do that when you are not in the presence of other persons in the same room. So that's why we do it that way. Now, the classes and formats, they are offering many different ways all over the world. Several trainings, majority of trainings offer this in an intensive way, 8 days of training back to back, where you have theory, demonstrations, and practices all day long, and then at the end of the day you have some practice on your own, some coaching practice. And then when the training is done, you have a period of time where you can comply with the rest of the requirements, like reading, additional practices, study groups, etc. In some countries, in some other places, we offer different formats, like a three-day module that we offer once a month for 3 months. So we meet, in the case of the United States, for example, Impact Coaching Solutions offer some trainings in different cities where we meet Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in 1 month, and then again another weekend a month from now, and another weekend 2 months from now. We also offer the 3-day module in weekdays. Sometimes it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we also have a format of 4-day modules. 4-day modules in with two times delivery. That means we will get together for 4 days, and then 2 months later we will get together for another 4 days to finish the program. And the reason we use the module format is because it's a good way to get the information and assimilate it little by little, digest, let's say, the information and what you are learning. And also you have these periods of time between modules where you can have your study groups, your practices, you can read your books, and that way you are really getting a very, very strong learning on the coaching techniques. So you can see our calendar in Impact Coaching Solutions. In our offering, we have different formats. Actually, we will be offering some intensives, as in other parts of the world, here in the US, with 8 days back-to-back, and also the variety of 3-day modules and 4-day modules in different cities in the United States. That's an overview of what is coaching, what is the international coaching community, what is the program, what are the benefits of the program, how we deliver it, and we mention also the content and the competencies that you acquire as a participant on our coaching certification program. To close the presentation, and before we move to your specific questions, I have this slide with some of the most common questions that we have from people when they are considering our program. One of the common questions is this training valid with the ICF, the International Coach Federation? The International Coach Federation is one of the largest coaching communities in the world as well. It's very strong in the USA. It has a strong presence in some other countries. And they are an association of coaches. Now, the requirement for the ICF, last time I checked, because sometimes they are changing their requirements, but last time I checked the requirement in their website, to become a member, a coach in the ICF, what they ask you is that you either do one of two things. Either you take the training with one of their authorized training centers. They have many training centers, and they have, of course, these training centers with different coaching methodologies, different levels of length, and as in anything, even maybe different levels of quality, because it's very hard to enforce the same level of quality. Now, that's one option, that you go to one of those training centers. The other option that the ICF has, recognizing that there are many other ways to become a professional coach in many other schools out there in the world, is that you complete what they call a training program that has a minimum of 60 hours of specific coaching training. So our program is valid with the ICF because you will have more than 60 hours of classroom training and a total of more than 100 hours of training when you consider your practices, your study group, your reading, and all the different activities that we do in this program. So you can be a member of the International Coach Federation after doing this program. Actually, my wife and me, we are trainers for the ICC. We are members of the ICC, but we are also members of the ICF. And I am also considering joining also the EMCC in Europe, because all the coaching associations are giving continuous education and very good benefits for their members. So it's not a bad idea once you become a professional coach to belong to different associations and memberships as well to get more training and to keep updated in this field. On top of that, sometimes they ask us about credentials. The ICF has this system of credentials, and you can see all the details in their website, but basically credentials is when you go after additional certifications with them based on the hours that you have already done and charge for your coaching services in a professional way. So that's what we have on the first question. The second one is this training for executive coaching or for life coaching? That's also a common question. And the answer is yes, it's for both. Because what we do in this basic training is we cover the 8 basic competencies. We cover many coaching techniques and tools that are useful for all types of coaching. So when our graduates finish the program, some of our graduates have decided to work as life coaches. Some of them have decided to work as executive coaches. We have had some, as I mentioned, some people from churches or spiritual organizations that work as spiritual coaches. And some people help people in their businesses as business coaches. So the basic techniques are used for what we call different niche markets. So once you take the training, you can decide what is the niche market that you want to operate in, and you can work on that type of a specific coaching. Another question is, will I be able to start my business as a coach? Well, the answer is yes. Once you get to this training and we get you certified, that means that you can act as a professional coach. There is no failing in this training, as sometimes they ask us, well, actually I have it here, sorry, in the last question, does the training guarantee that I will be certified? Well, no. You will go to the training, you will attend classes, you will do study groups, and you will do your reading and practices, but at the end you have an assessment. Now, there is no failing on that assessment. What could happen is that you are not ready yet. Maybe you need more on rapport, maybe you need more on your powerful questions techniques, maybe you need to work better on your intuition or listening. So it's not that you might fail that assessment, it's just that assessment might tell us that you are not ready for professional coaching. And in those cases, what we are going to ask you is maybe to take an additional module, or to do more practices, or to do more reading, or to have some supervision coaching where an expert, a professional coach, is going to give you feedback on how you are doing it until you get it right and until you get it ready for professional coaching. Once you are ready for professional coaching, that's when you get certified. And once you get certified, of course, you are able to start your own business as a coach or include coaching services in your current business. And the other question that we have here is, do I need to be a professional as I call your human resources field? I think I covered a little bit of this in the presentation. You don't need to be a professional in a specific industry. Sometimes they ask us, well, if I am going to be an executive coach and I want, let's say, to go after executives in the oil and energy industry here in Houston, do I need to be an expert on that industry? Well, no, because in coaching, you don't need to be an expert on a specific industry. You need to be an expert on your coaching techniques and your powerful questions and your rapport, on your listening. That's what you need to be an expert on. If you are an expert on that, you can coach a person from any type of field, any type of industry. Of course, if your background is from a specific industry, that will help you to get a faster context of your client or to get a better idea of what is the environment or what are the challenges. But that doesn't mean that you cannot do it if you don't have knowledge in that industry or a specific field. And actually, for some of us that come from the consulting world as well, when you have knowledge in a specific industry or field, you might be tempted to give advice instead of coaching. So it's an important distinction, and it's important to learn how to manage when you are coaching and when you are consulting. So those are the common questions that we have. I hope this gives you a very good overview of what is the community and what is our program. You can find international coaching community certifications all over the world if you go to the International Coaching Community website. You have it here in the screen, www.internationalcoachingcommunityaltogether.com. And that, if you go to training calendar, you will see all the trainings that we have all over the world, different dates, formats, countries, and trainers. In the specific case of the USA, United States of America, this webinar has been sponsored by Impact Coaching Solutions. That's the company that I have, and we are the 2 trainers in the Texas area and Florida area, and we can provide coaching as well in some other cities. There is a third trainer in the U.S. that is based in the Washington, D.C. area, Karin, and she can provide trainings as well in that region. It's important also to comment that if you want a training in your community, in your city, in other places in the United States, or even in other places in the world where we don't have a trainer, you just need to reach out and talk to us, because when we match a minimum of participants in a specific community, we can go to any place in the world and deliver this specific training. And since it's available in so many languages and with so many trainers all over the world, we can do that, not only our scheduled trainings, but also specific in-company trainings or trainings for specific communities where we can go, as I said, anywhere in the world. You have our contact information there. Our website has the calendar for the trainings that we offer in the United States, and also information on other services that we provide. And those are our local phones in Houston and in Miami, and we will be very happy to have you in our training. It's a transformational experience, and we really love to do it. We are passionate about sharing our knowledge and our experience on this, and help people to become professional coaches. And even if you don't want this for a professional coaching, if you want it just as coaching skills to be a better father, a better mother, a better family member, better maybe a better athlete, a better executive, a better manager, it's all part of being a better version of yourself. The coaching techniques are very useful for that. So that's what I have with this webinar. Thank you for participating. Thank you from the international coaching community, and thank you from Impact Coaching Solutions. Let's now move to some specific questions that you might have after the presentation. And
yes. Okay, so we want to invite you to please ask your questions. I have lowered your hands so we can know exactly who's asking a question right now. So if you will, raise your hand, and we can clarify any doubts that you may have. Let's see if anybody raises their hand.
Thank you, Alexis. And while somebody's raising their hands, I have a couple of questions here in my screen. One is, why the practices as client? Very good question, thank you. The reason we have practices as client, is not only because you are going to help another participant to practice his or her coaching skills. Another very important reason is because you need to be a good client to be a good coach. And you need to learn how to work on your own situations and your problems, the things that you want to improve in your life, and learn how to apply the techniques in your own situations. That's why it's important to be a good client. If you ask professional coaches, most professional coaches, including me, including Maria, we hire coaches. Coaches hired coaches because we know that it's a powerful technique, and we hire professional colleagues to help us when we want to bounce some ideas, change something in our life, improve something in our businesses or in our careers, or just be better persons in some aspects. We hire coaches. So you need to learn to be a good client before you learn to be also a good coach. That's the reason. And the other question that I have here in the screen is, how many programs before I become a certified coach? Also very good question, thank you, because in some schools, in some coaching schools, we have seen in the market that some schools have like different modules, and they sell you 2, 3, 4, 5 different programs before you become a certified coach. So they go little by little with different levels, and they have modules that sometimes are 2 days, 4 days, or a week, and they take you through several modules to get you certified. In the case of the International Coaching Community Program, it's not that way. We only have a basic program that is 8 days of classes to become a certified coach. And we can offer it, as you've seen in the presentation, in an intensive way, back-to-back, 8 days together, or we can offer 2 or 3 modules, but the program is the same. It's the same length, the same content, and you don't need additional programs. That's what you need to become a certified coach. If you want to become later a better coach, and we recommend that you stay at least 1 year with your certification practicing as professional coach, then you can pursue higher education, like going for what we call a level 2 certification in maybe team coaching or in executive coaching, which are like specialties within coaching that you can pursue. But the basic training will get you certified. I have another question here, Alexis, about are you able to share who some of your corporate clients are? Well, first I want to make a comment that this changes a lot, of course, because we have 45 trainers in countries all over the place, and the set of clients for each of us is different. We reach many corporations. In the case of the United States, we also, in Impact Coaching Solutions, we have several services. We are executive coaches for some corporations, and we also offer the program to train coaches. So the clients vary a lot. We have participants for many different companies. The program has been in the US for about 5 years now, and we have had many participants for different corporations. To mention some of our clients, in the case of executive coaching, we have worked with companies as Autoliv in the auto industry, Chrysler, Alcatel-Lucent, companies like Bridgestone. We have worked with companies in the oil and energy segment like FMC Technologies. We have had projects with universities as well as Tulane University, Belmont University. We have had clients for Vanderbilt University. We have had clients also for other global companies like Hexpol. It's a large plastic company in the world. Repsol, an important oil energy sector company. So it's just to mention a few of the clients that we have worked with. But of course, as I said, this changes a lot from country to country. That's just a sample of what we have been doing in the US.
Yes, yeah, you're totally right, Guillermo. This definitely changes because each trainer and each center has their own set of clients in their own countries. It seems like there are no more questions. Will you be continuing with the presentation?
Okay, then, well, we cover all the content. If you don't have more questions, I thank you again for attending the webinar. If you require more information, you can write to us to info@icscoach.com, and we will be happy to send you a brochure of the international coaching community, a brochure with a lot of details on the program, and also all the information about our coming classes in the USA. And you can also go to the international coaching community website to find classes in different parts of the world. Feel free to call us. We might answer any question that you have and help you to get your certification and clarify any doubts that you have about the coaching profession and the coaching training world. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Guillermo, and thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll be seeing you soon.